welcome to the show.
From the Mirrorball studio in Royal Berkshire, this is Chris Reardon.
Well, we missed out on the last show, didn't we? We missed out the story of why I'm still lucky to be here. Welcome along, it's Chris Reardon with you, United Kingdom Talk. Email address to the show, if you ever want to join in, is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks so much to Carl, who put a little message on the YouTube side of things and says that this is his favourite camera position. Oh yes, he likes this position. So thank you very much for that, Carl. Those of you watching on YouTube will notice the mirror ball revolving slowly behind me on the, what is it? Is that your right or is that your left? Hang on a minute, I'm not going to work this out. That's left, isn't it? On your left is the mirror ball revolving behind me. And on the right is the half a Union Jack. and behind me is a map of the world. So there we are. That's what people are looking at. If you're just listening, now you know. Sometimes it's better just to listen, isn't it? Rather than look as well. And talking about listening, I have found a new radio station. Yes. Amazing. I was just had my digital... Let me get it here. I'm gonna play a bit of this to you. 1 minute. Oh, got a lot of guitar coming up today, so I hope I don't have to keep clearing my throat. Yes, my digital walker. I found digital. What is it? DAB radio. I found a new radio station. You know how it is when you pick up the radio and you flick around. Oh, something new. Now listen. Right, I'm just going to turn it on now. 1 minute. Here we go. You'll love this. Can you hear that? Isn't that nice? I love it. It's a station called Birdsong. It certainly is. Now, as I say, I think you can only get this on the digital radio and also maybe on the internet as well. And it's called Birdsong. And all it is birds singing. And I've been setting the alarm, because I've got a small DAB, what are they called? Alarm, clock radio. Yeah, clock radio alarm thing in the bedroom. And this morning, for the first time, I set the alarm to wake up to birdsong. And let's put it on. Shall we put it on? Put it on in the background. I don't know if we're allowed to do this, to be honest. Only a couple of seconds or so, it'll be all right. Can you hear that? And I think that's lovely. How nice to be able to... I mean, to be honest, you know, even if I leave my windows open here in Bracknell, we do get a lot of birds singing in the morning. But obviously, this has been recorded somewhere in the middle of a forest or place like that, away from cars. Well, mind you, I don't really hear the cars on the motorway here. But it's obviously been recorded for somewhere where there's quite a high density of birds. And you can hear wood pigeons. And can you hear it? I think that's lovely. Well, perhaps I've got an idea. I better turn that off. There we are. So, you know, just passing on that little thing there. I don't know if they're on the internet. Shall I have a quick look for you? Birdsong. It must be called Birdsong Radio, I would guess. Where are we? Birdsong Radio. The thing is, there's no music, no announcements, and no adverts. And I'm kind of wondering how on earth they make any money. They can't make any money if they've got no commercials, unless they're doing it for the love of it, like me, which I very much doubt. Let me have a look here. Birdsong Radio. Birdsong Radio just available on DAB? I think it must be. I can't find anything. Oh, maybe it's only on DAB? BBC Radio 4? I don't know. Well, we got... no, radiotimes.com. Birdsong Radio? Here, oh, this is interesting. It says, Birdsong Radio isn't commercially viable. Adverts would ruin it. And that's true. If there were any adverts... This is the point. If there were any adverts or any music were only talking on that, that would completely ruin it, wouldn't it? It's just birdsong. And I think, what a good idea, but I'm kind of concerned that it won't be there in a couple of weeks' time because it's not made any money. Has anyone else heard that? Or maybe we could take this way. I mean, if they've got a way of making money, which I presume they will have, otherwise surely it wouldn't be there. It's a commercial station. If they've got a way of making money, you could extend this, couldn't you? How about zoo radio? Well, all you would get was the noises of animals and things like that. I think that'd be quite good. Or Jungle FM, you know, something like Jungle FM. And I'm not talking about that dreadful jungle music. Oh, my God. Have you ever heard that jungle music? It's awful. All those banging, bang, bang, bang. Oh, it's dreadful. I was in the Golden Lion, where I work Mondays and Tuesdays, a couple of Mondays ago, and one of the members of staff there, he's a young lad, he's actually quite young, and I walked in there and there's all these families sitting at tables. Because there's a fairly good old mix in there. There's a fairly good old mix. There's families sitting at tables who come down from the local Travel Inn hotel? I don't remember what it's called. There's a hotel down the road, and a lot of people often come in the pub. And they're all sitting there like that, and a few other people. And this young lad behind, who's working behind the bar at the time, he's got this jungle music on. Oh, it is the most awful. If you don't know what I mean, it's a bit difficult to explain. It's just like banging drums, and it's heavy. Okay, it's heavy. And I walked in there, you know, ready to set up for my bingo, which is, of course, every Monday. Every Monday at the Golden Lion, I do bingo. You can have a look at the website for that, bingo.com, okay, bingo.com. I was going in there setting up, and I went over to the back bar, and I straight away, first thing I did when I walked in there was turn the music off and put something really light on, like, I can't remember, maybe a bit of a Elvis or Candy State and Suspicious Minds, or Young Hearts Run Free, bit of ABBA, you know, the sort of thing. And he said, "What are you doing? That's my music." I said, "I know it's your music." He said, "Well, leave it on. Let that song finish." I said, "You're having a laugh, and yeah, look what's in there. Have a look around." And they were all sort of middle-aged to sort of older, young. Do you know what I mean by older, young? Sort of 25s to 45, or would be the majority of people in there. I said, "Have a look around. They're trying to have a quiet conversation here." He says, "Oh, well, can't you just play that one?" I said, "No." I said, "Put the music on for the people, not for us. You got to think of the customers." It's very difficult sometimes to explain to a young person that, isn't it? That actually, you know, when you're working in a pub or something like that, you've got to think what the people want and not what you want. I mean, there's a lot of managers I've worked for over the time that also seem to think that they are actually more important than the customers. Well, that's wrong. Because the customers paying your wages, dear. You know, we are there for them, not the other way round. And so I was explaining that. With the jungle music, but I mean, jungle FM. That could be the sound. You know, someone could take a microphone and like a little setup. Oh, I could go with. I've got my recording gadget here. I have. Look, here it is. My little recording gadget. Yes, I could go. Where would I like to go? The rainforests of the Amazon. Oh, I'd like that. Is it a bit scary? Do you have crocodiles and things like that there? Because in the Daintree rainforest where I've been in Australia, you have to be a little bit careful. There are spiders and snakes and crocodiles in there. Yes. Oh, it's a bit scary, isn't it? You don't want to be coming around a corner with a recording device and then suddenly bump into a crocodile or something like that. Anyway, you could have Jungle FM. Any other suggestions? How about, because I know, ladies, there were some of you that love the sound of children and little babies gurgling and crying and laughing. And how about Baby FM? Where you would just take your microphone into perhaps a hospital, a children's hospital somewhere, and record baby noises. Or how about Chris Reardon Noise FM? Now that, of course, would be a subsidiary of United Kingdom Talk. And it would just consist of my noises that I like to make sometimes. I think also in my noise vocabulary, I should start including things like sneezing, coughing, and throat clearing. And also possibly nose snorting. As these are some of the noises that I do. But those ones, I have to admit, unlike the other ones, which consist of things like unlike those ones, the coughing, what you laugh, don't laugh, serious face, look. Unlike the other ones, they are involuntary. When I'm not a lot I can do. If you want to cough, you got to cough, and that's it. Now, I do have my button to the left. You've never seen my button, have you? Would you like to see it? I'll have to describe it if you're not watching. Don't. It's just a little button on the left-hand side of my little gadget. I will now show you a little special treat today. You see, some people will miss this show. They will, and they will wish they looked at my button. Right, I'm going to show you my button now. This is the button I use. Now, follow my finger now. This is the button that I use. It's right over here. That I use, right, when I want to cut out the sound. Now, watch this. I shall now count to 10. Can you see me? I shall now count to 10 and cut out the sound. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. I shall cut it out between 5 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. So it's my cough button. It's all here, dear. Oh yes, we've got all the gadgets. We've got all the gadgets. So we're not monkeys here, dear. We do it all properly. Am I set back up? Sorry. Oh, you may also notice today, incidentally, I have one of my favourite shirts on. This is my orange striped shirt. But today, you may notice it's black underneath. Now, don't worry. I haven't suddenly grown chest hair. Actually, there's a lad who comes into the... talking of chest hairs, there is a lad who comes into the karaoke. His name's Elvis, and he's from Tehran. And he has got... I have never seen so much hair on a body in all my life. No, sorry, not that I've seen him naked, but you can just tell underneath the shirt. It's like a magic carpet ride. It really is. I thought to myself, well, if the car breaks down today, I shall be all right, because I just jump on top of his back, say... abracadabra, and he'll lift off the ground and I'll float all the way back to my house. That'd be all right. We'll save on the old fuel, wouldn't it? So there we are. That's the story. What on earth we were talking about for the last 10 minutes? I can't remember now. Cough buttons. Oh, that's it. Bird song radio. So I think it's... I gather it's... I would have thought it had been on the internet as well, but it seems not. I can't find it on there anyway. Is it worth... Oh, look at this. 1 minute. There's a little article here that was in the Telegraph this week. Our friends in America, do you have anything like that? Birdsong radio or whatever? It says, a radio station. Here we are. Now, this was on my birthday, 5th of February. A radio station had an unexpected hit on its hands after broadcasting birdsong for 18 hours every day. Look at this. The relaxing rural recording. And it is. It's lovely. The relaxing rural recording is proving particularly popular with urbanites hankering after a taste of the countryside, and is attracting tens of thousands of listeners. And I'm not surprised, but I wonder if it says how on earth do they make any noise? Don't know. It doesn't say. It'd be very interesting to find out how they actually... Let's have a look. Oh, I see. It's an unused channel. Oh, I see. Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. It's basically, it looks like to me that a company owns various channels, and they haven't got anything to put there yet, so that's what they've put on. So presumably when someone offers us the money for that channel or frequency, I'm not quite sure how it works on digital. It's all very complex to me. I just turn the button on, dear, and it works, but it might go off again, which would be a great shame. But yeah, Bird Song Radio, give that a try. They're obviously not a commercial venture because there's no adverts. They can't be making any money. It's just like a spare frequency. The BBC do that sometimes. When they have a spare frequency, they put all sorts of things on there, which is unfortunate, and they intend to be hits, and then they take them off again, but never mind. All right, now, I tell you what I want to do now. If it's all right with you, I've got some emails to do, but we didn't get through that whole song last week, which I promised faithfully to sing to my little friend Ivona in Slovakia. How are you, my darling? Now, she sends me personal texts now on my mobile phone, don't you, my darling? And I got your photograph as well. Oh, you wanted me to send a photograph, didn't you? Have I got my phone here? I will send you a photograph. Do not worry, I will send you a little, well, not so much a paper photograph. I'll do a picture of myself and, what's that thing? Text it to you, okay? And the email said, because we didn't get to the end of this last week, "Hi Chrissy, please can you sing song from Sir Elton John, This Is Your Song?" All right, so I shall do this. Now, she also sent us a little thing of her singing Bewitched last week. Now, do you remember? I tell you what, I've still got that somewhere. And also, my friend Anthony has now sent me in a link to the proper Bewitched song, which is fantastic. Now, I'll play, let's see, let me play you first Ivona singing Bewitched, because we have already played this once, I know, but it's worth another go, because she's quite a good singer, little Ivona. 1 second. And I love her, I love that accent. I love her, she's got an accent. Now, where are we? Oh, it is? I think that's it there. 1 second, or is that a photo? Oh, no, that's is that a photo? Yeah, it's a photo. Oh, I might have deleted it now. Surely not. Where have you gone, Ivona? You've disappeared from me, my dear. Oh, hang on, what's that? No, that's not it. Is that it there? Aha! Aha! I knew it was here, my love. Right, 1 second, let me just bring this up. It's all a bit slow because we're running everything on the computer. By the way, that video card came, you know, so I could hopefully use my video camera. Having trouble setting that up, though. I'm going to have to get... what I might do is get a bloke in or something to set everything up, because I'm getting fed up trying to work everything up. I just spend so much time with technical issues, which I really don't want to do. All I want to do is sit here and chat to you. But it's just the technical issues that always really throw me, so... might have to get someone in. I'll just bite the bullet and pay. You know? Just bite the bullet and pay the blooming fee, whatever it is. Right, here we go. Here's Ivona singing Bewitched, all right? She does quite well with this, and you'll love the accent. She's coming up in just a second, and I'll line up the proper Bewitched for you as well, if I can find that, okay? So, here we are. Come on, Ivona, start singing. Here she goes, here she goes, here she goes. Come on, where are you? Is it happening? No, it's not, is it? Am I doing something wrong here? I think this is it. Is this it? Sorry, my darlings, it's taken a little while to start off today. I don't know why that is. Probably.
Bewitched. Bewitched. Yes, that song is very, very, very pretty. It's very, very, very sympathetic song. Yes, Bewitched, 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 Bewitched. Oh yes, sir, now.
All right, that's Ivona in Slovakia who sent that in. Thank you very much for that, my darling. Well, also, Anthony has sent me in the proper version of Bewitched, and I'm just going to bring that up now for you, and we'll give that a little play as well, because and then we'll close the book on the whole Bewitched singing saga, which, as stories tend to on this programme, does go on for years and years. So here we are. This is the proper version of the TV theme Bewitched. All right, here we go. This is quite good. This.
Bewitched, you've got me in your spell. Bewitched, bewitched, you know your craft so well. Before I knew what you were doing, I looked in your eyes. That brand of woo that you've been brewing took me by surprise. You witch, one thing is for sure, that stuff that you pitch just hasn't got a cure. My heart was under lock and key, but somehow it got unhitched. I never thought my heart could be had, but now I'm caught and I'm kinda glad to be bewitched. Bewitched. My heart was under lock and key, but somehow it got unhitched. I never thought my heart could be had, but now I'm caught and I'm kinda glad that you do that crazy voodoo, and I'm bewitched by you.
All right, so thanks very much, Anthony, for sending that one in. That's the whole proper version of the theme to the Bewitched show, and of course the TV theme itself. You know that one. It's all kind of speeded up and made very pretty, isn't it? Here it comes. Here it comes. Are you ready with your noses, everyone? Here we go. Right. Did you do it? There we are. So we close the book on the whole Bewitched saga. But meantime, and I know a special little treat for Carl in Yorkshire, who's going to absolutely love this. It's time for me, Carl, to sing to you today, sir. As requested by Ivona, okay? Ivona. So I'm singing for you today, my darling. All right, here we go. 1 second, let's just stop that there. Right, especially, very musical today, aren't we? Very musical today, especially for Ivona, who has requested that I sing a little Elton John number. A little number I haven't really done. Don't really do this at karaoke, all right? Here we go. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no. Or a man who makes potions in a travelling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is a song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they got me quite cross. But the sun's been quite kind while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for forgetting, but these things I do. You see, I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Anyway, the thing is what I really mean. Yours are the sweetest eyes I've ever seen. And you can tell everybody that this is your song. It may be quite simple now that it's done. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is when you're in the world. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is when you're in the world. All right, there you are, Ivona. Especially for you, my darling, as you asked for it. Carl is probably gone now. Anyway, I was just trying to move the camera around a little bit there because the words. I'm really awful at learning words. Unfortunately, to songs and that sort of thing. I was the same when I was in this Scout gang show years ago, the Roehampton gang show, and also what was the other gang show I was in? The South London gang show. That's right. Which was in for many years, and I'm absolutely hopeless at how do you learn words to songs? Have we got any singing people? Chris and Jerry, I've known it from you two for a long time now, but I know Chris plays a guitar and sings. How do you learn words to songs? How do you do it? I find that incredibly difficult. The way I do it. I mean, I do learn words to songs, but only after, playing them for months and months in the car. I know the words off by heart to Money, Money, Money and Tie Yellow Ribbon round the old oak tree. I like that one. I have to say, at karaoke nights, I find it incredibly difficult to sing modern stuff like NSYNC. I mean, NSYNC and the Justin Timberlake. Don't and all that business. Although he did look quite nice, quite nice in those very small swimming trunks in the link that Suko sent me on the last show. Do you remember that? All right. Now I have to tell you, just before I go to the emails, I'll just drop my pen down there. 1 second. Before I go to the emails today, quite honestly, I mentioned this on the last show. I'm fairly lucky to be here. And I'll tell you why. Last Saturday, I generally leave quite late on a Saturday to go to work. And I came out of my house around about 9:30 at night, this is Saturday night. And got the car out of the garage, and that was fine. Reversed the car. And when I turned left, I thought I could hear a gentle, and I mean gentle, like a knocking sound, as I went left. But not loud enough to worry about anything. I thought, I wonder what that was. Anyway, I didn't really think any more of it. So I came out of my road, turned right, and then up to the other road. That was fine. Turned right was fine. When I turned left again, once again, I got the sort of quiet knocking noise as I turned left and the car was moving round. As soon as I straightened up, it went. Okay, fair enough. Got up to a little mini roundabout. You sort of go right around that, sort of, not right, but straight across. That was fine. Got up to a larger roundabout and I turned right there. That was fine. So now I'm going on the road down to the motorway, which is our equivalent of a freeway. And got to the big roundabout. You don't have many roundabouts in America, I noticed, do you? Or indeed in Australia, come to that. Actually, come to think of it, do you know, I don't know many countries that have roundabouts like we do here. Anyway, so I got to the main roundabout before the motorway, and there you have to turn left to join the motorway. So I've turned left, guess what? Bit of knocking on the, in the car again. But again, not really loud enough to worry. It was just very, very quiet. You barely noticed it. So now I'm on the motorway, okay? And I'm gradually increasing speed to warp factor 7. That's 70 mile an hour, incidentally. If you're not into Star Trek, I'm afraid you won't understand that. But basically, my car is not really a car. It is a starship. Yes, it is. It is a starship. It is the UK IGO Mark 1. All right? So it has warp speed, not miles an hour. Now, for warp speed, there is a conversion formula, which is fairly simple. So whenever you're in the car, if you're doing 10 miles an hour, if you're doing anything up to 10 miles an hour, that is impulse power, okay? Star Trek people will know what I'm talking about here. So, if you're doing, say, 2.5 miles an hour, which is pretty impossible in a car, let's be honest, that would be 1/4 impulse, okay? If you're doing anything below 10 miles an hour, it is impulse power. So 5 miles an hour is impulse power 1/2, okay? You get it? 10 miles an hour is warp 1. 20 miles an hour is warp 2. 33, 44, 55, and so on. Of course, Star Trek fans will know that once you've got to start getting to warp 11, warp 12, you do tend to get, you know, dodgy. I mean, Scotty, who works in engineering in Star Trek, would be very concerned if you started hitting warp 11 and 12. Although the more recent starships, Voyager, can go at faster speeds than that, as you know. Anyway, so I'm on the motorway now doing 70, maybe warp 7.5, okay? And I didn't really notice anything peculiar. The noise stopped. But I thought to myself, it's a bit windy out tonight. I did about twice on the length of the motorway. I felt myself get pushed over to the left. You know how it is when you get a gust of wind? No, not from there, dear. From the outside. You know when you get a gust of wind and it kind of pushes the car over a bit, doesn't it? Well, that's what I thought. I thought it was a bit windy tonight. Anyway, got to Richmond, went round the roundabout there. That was all fine. And then over, where is it now? Chiswick Bridge, all that direction, turned right. And every time I turned left, I got that knocking. Anyway, so I got to work in King's Cross on Saturday night. And I thought, I'd just have a little look at the tyres. And I looked at the tyres. I had a flat back tyre. Can you believe that? I had a flat back tyre. I couldn't believe it. So all that way, coming down the motorway, all the way from Bracknell to London, flat back. It can't have gone down. Flat back tyre. So quite honestly, you know, thank the Lord that I'm still here, because that can be very dangerous. Of course, I just assumed... Have I had a flat tyre? I've never had a flat tyre while I've been driving. Okay, I've always come out of somewhere and, oh, I've got a flat tyre. You know, you notice straight away. I didn't notice this one because they're quite low down anyway. Oh, no, I tell a lie. I did have a flat tyre. Not last Christmas, the Christmas before that, I remember when I had the Land Rover, I was driving to my sister's house and there was a corner which I took a little bit to, it was in amongst all the fields. Because where my sister is, there's lots of fields, you know, for farming and what have you. And I took a corner there and I think I took it a little bit too wide and I banged at the edge of the film, at the edge of the fields, they've got like, paving stones, which are quite high up, and my tyre has hit this thing, and the thing's gone down. And I tell you what, if you ever change a tyre on a Land Rover, you know you've done a hard job. Poor dear, that is hard work, that is, because they're so big and heavy. And literally, I was laying and my bum got all wet in the grass on the field where the car, I had to pull over there, obviously, to change the gut. And of course, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, you know. It's always 3 o'clock in the morning when these things happen, isn't it? And always wet or cold, one of the two, or both. So I've got to work, and I thought, oh no, that's the last thing I want to do is change a tyre. So I went, of course I couldn't do it there and then because I had to go and start work. So I went and done my DJ and come out of there about 4 o'clock in the morning. Not only was it 4 o'clock in the morning, but also the hours went forward at that point. So it was now 5 o'clock in the morning because we're now on British summertime here, or BST. And I looked at it and I thought, well, hang on a minute, I've got this far. I'll drive to the nearest petrol garage, pump the tyre up and see what happens. So I did. Drove round to the nearest garage. And again, I didn't feel a thing. Couldn't fit. You wouldn't know it was flat. This is the strange thing about it. I would have thought there'd been some like banging, really loud banging noises or scraping along the floor or something. There was nothing. Back tyre. So I've pumped the tyre up. And I looked at it and I waited a couple of minutes, just keeping an eye on it. And I sort of put my ear, you know, right to the tyre to see if I could hear it. Nothing. So I then thought, well, you know, I'll drive because there is another garage at the beginning of the motorway on the way home. So I thought I'll drive that far and then stop and have another look. So I drove through London again. And just before I got to the... well, actually, I pulled in the garage at the very beginning of the motorway in just after Richmond, which is just on the outskirts of London. Pulled into this motorway and had a look at the tyre, solid as a rock, you know, hadn't gone down at all. I thought, well, OK, you know, I'll drive home on it, keeping my speed down to about 40 or 50 mile an hour, just in case something happens. You know, you're better safe than sorry. And drove all the way home, got home, checked the tyre again. It was still up. But I thought, that the old tread was looking, to be honest, the tread was looking a bit thin. And they did tell me last time I went for a car service that before the next service I will have to change the tyres. So I took it straight to the garage the next day and bought a new tyre. So that's it. Unfortunately, they only had the one tyre. And when I change tyres, I tend to change them both. Makes it nice and even, doesn't it? So what they did is they took out the spare tyre, which was brand new in the boot, and they put that on one of the back wheels and the new one on the other one. So now I've got 2 new tyres on there, and that's it. But for one tyre, £68, dear. £68 for one tyre. Isn't it a cheek? What a liberty. And why is it? Well, do you know what? I fancy having a little bit of bird song in the background. Do you mind? Can we... Can we do that for a while? It's quite pleasant, isn't it? Here we go. Is it coming? We like that. Isn't it? It's £68 for one tyre. And why is it, whenever you go in these places and you walk in there and on the poster it says from £29, and you say, well, what? Why does it say up there £29? And they say to you, oh no, it's not standard. It's true, isn't it? Whenever you buy something, they always come out with, oh, it's not a standard one. Always the same, dear. Always. I've never had a tyre for £29. One thing, of course, I better turn it off, hadn't I? I'm not quite sure if we're allowed to do that. Whenever I've never had a standard tyre, have you? But one thing you mustn't do is take risks with tyres. That they really are very important that you have good tyres on your cars. I certainly would never ever consider buying remoulds. I mean, some people say they're all right, but what they do is they get a tyre that's already bald, don't they? And they repress the tread back into it or something. Oh, very dangerous. I would never ever risk it on tyres. Don't buy cheap. Okay, right, let's move on to some emails. That's my tyre story. Has anyone ever had a blowout? That must be really scary. Oh, and why, any mechanics? Why is it I didn't notice this tyre? How comes I didn't notice this tyre was flat? Or was it indeed the noise? Is that all you get on a back tyre? I would have thought, especially, I mean, on the motorway, 75 mile an hour on the motorway, dear. You know, I mean, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Right, let's do some emails. Hello to Gemma. Hello, Gemma, my darling. And she says, I wanted to thank you for your last show on the 27th. I couldn't stop laughing with your stories. I listened to you in bed, but couldn't get to sleep until finished. Oh, am I keeping people awake now? Please take care and don't take on too much work, will you? Thanks again and good luck from Gemma. That's all right, Gemma. Yeah. Sorry, am I keeping people awake? I do apologise. But don't be asleep. You're a long time dead, my love. You don't want to go to sleep until you absolutely have to. That's what I say. Or you could now, of course. I don't know if you've got anything like that in Spain. Have you bird song radio? I went asleep to it last night. Oh, it's lovely. I was just so disappointed when that goes off air. That's the thing. As I say, I don't see how they can make any money. It must cost a lot of. I mean, obviously, I don't suppose they'll have to pay anyone, do they? All they've got is this recording going round and round all the time. But I don't know, maybe if they set up some sort of website and took, like, you know, that click advertising on there, or whether that would be enough to pay for such a thing, I don't know. But as I say, if anyone has got any other suggestions for other radio stations like that, Jungle FM or Baby Radio or Cat Radio, that would be good. Where you just had cats purring. Is that good? I don't know. Now, got a series of emails this week from Wayne, Anonymous, coming up in a second. Some of which are very odd, to be honest, Wayne. I can't make it a tale of half of these today, what you're sending through at the moment. Dear me, and it's like another blooming language, dear. The email address, once again, it's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Hello to Audio Freak, who is one of our YouTube friends. Hello, Audio Freak. And he sent me a couple of private emails. Or private little messages on the YouTube thing there. And I was just asking him about his family, because he's got a big family there. And he says, "Hi, mate. I have a daughter, Steph. She's 20. And she's having her first little baby, which is a girl. Well done. Congratulations, Steph. Good luck with the baby whenever that's going to come. Is that soon? Kirsty, who is 17. She's at college studying to be a midwife. Oh, well, there's an idea. Oh, hang on a minute. No, I've missed one out there. Let's start at the top. Steph, she's the eldest, 20, having her first baby, which is a girl. Oh, do you know that already? Did they do a test? Is it a test or is it a scan? So you decided to know. Okay. Cara, who is 18. Now, she's got a little girl living with her boyfriend. Kirsty is 17. She's at college studying to be a midwife. Well, that's handy. Well, if Kirsty works extra hard, maybe she can sort out Steph when she has her baby. Keep it in the family. That's what I say. Yeah, so good luck, Kirsty. Midwife, that's an important job, isn't it? Eh? Anything like midwifery or nurses or doctors, such an important job. I mean, the stuff I do isn't important, is it? DJing, a little bit of this, a little bit of music stuff. It's not really important. It's a really important job, that, I think, a midwife. There's Reese, that's a nice name, who's 15. Connor, I love that. It's an Irish name, isn't it, Connor? Connor, come here, Connor. I love that name. Connor's 13, Tony is 10, and Joshua. That's a posh name. You've got a bit of everything there, haven't you? Joshua, who's only 3 months old, bless his little heart. Me, I'm 42. My wife is old. Oh no, I see what you're saying. He's got ... old. His wife isn't old. It's just ... old, so that I don't know. Okay, has been with her for 25 years. He says, anyway, this YouTube thing, because Audio Freak does it as well. He says, I've been doing it for a couple of months, but I use a camcorder, well, several camcorders really, and record the sound to mini disc. I don't know if you've had a look at any. Yes, I have. Really good. I saw the one where you were, is it in a car, driving through greenery, or was he walking along? I can't remember now. Because we've got another bit of a YouTube news in a minute. Someone sent me some very, very funny stuff. Very, very funny. And he says, record the sound to mini disc. Let me have a look. It all gets edited on nothing more than Windows Movie Maker and Adobe, and he goes on with some technical bits and pieces there. So thank you very much for that audio freak, and keep in touch with the happy family that is United Kingdom Talk. All right. Now, hello to Alan. Hello, Alan. He says, got to say, Chris, I keep playing your video shows, thinking I'll just see what he's banging on about this week, expecting to watch for a few minutes, but always end up losing an hour watching the whole thing. Really enjoyed the show, my friend. Thank you. That's from Alan Live. Thank you, Alan. Am I keeping you up as well? I do apologise. Well, it's me or Trevor McDonald on News at 10, isn't it? Make your mind up. You know, we can share. We can share viewers. Don't worry. I don't want to take anything away from Trevor, because I have utmost respect for that man there. Now, Anonymous. Now, look at this lot from Anonymous today. I better put these in order, actually. Let me see. 29. Oh, hang on. That was 2 in a day here. To be honest, sometimes, Wayne, I do have a little bit of a problem understanding what the hell you're going on about. But here we go. Hello, Chris. Bad news from the States. Your ChrisReardon.com is no longer alive here. Entering that name brings up the original owner's site for photography. That's right. Now, I have to tell you, I have never had ChrisReardon.com. Right, when I went to get it, I noticed it was already owned by a photographer who is in America, who I don't know. I can't remember. I might have sent me an email once just to say hello. I can't remember if I did now. Anyway, ChrisReardon.com is a photographer. I have never had and don't have ChrisReardon.com, all right? He says, also noted that ChrisReardon.co.uk is not coming up well. Well, it's all right. It looks all right to me. I tried that earlier. I check that every day, dear. We've got to keep everything working, functioning within normal parameters, as Data from Star Trek says. He says, perhaps there is an internet battle for supremacy is in the offing. Oh my, you don't suppose that the original user of ChrisReardon.com has friends in a certain administration that you don't care for? You're talking about Bush, are you? Well, I can't even say the word. Not allowed to use that word. What an idiot. That man, I can't bear him, that Bush. And why doesn't he have his eyebrows sorted out? He's got 2 big eyebrows. I don't trust him at all. He says, did a man in a black suit walk into an internet headquarters and hand them a letter demanding removal of your site in favour of one of their political supporters? Yes, probably. Probably, dear. Keep checking your rearview mirror while driving to work. You never know who's following you. Well, I hope sometimes someone nice will follow me at some point, but it hasn't happened yet. One last note of importance. That round plastic thing you picked off the floor of the Mirable Studios may be one of 3 things. A screw cover that fell off your chair. Now, where is it? I think I chucked it away in the end because we couldn't find where it had come from. Is it here somewhere? Oh, is that it? There it is. There it is. Little thing there. We don't know what that is, really. It's coming from something. Do you ever find things like that in the house? Like bits of plastic things. And there's another one here. I've got 2 different ones. Bits of plastic and rubber things. And they just... Oh, I'll rephrase that. Rubber grommets and things like that. And you kind of look at these things and you wonder where that came from. It's just there on the carpet. How did it get there in the first place? We don't know, do we? He says it could be a screw cover that fell off your chair. B, a cover from a hole in one of your computer cases. No, it's not going to be that because they're never moved. C, the Dalek-laden egg. That could be something to do with the Dalek. Just a minute. Let's have a look. No, nothing to do with the Dalek. Oh. We don't know what that is, really. Or yes, see the Dalek laid an egg. No, it's not any of these things. I quite like a little family of Daleks here. I've got two of them. I've got that big one downstairs and a little one on the shelf there just behind me there. He says, don't be walking around barefoot in case there is a loose screw-on fallen on the floor. Just waiting to deliver a sharp pain to your bipedal motivators' feet. Don't worry about that. I've always got my slippers. Here's my slippers. I've got lovely blue slippers. Actually, I need new ones because the lining inside is starting to... these are quite old. See, the other ones, I have got another pair that I bought... These slippers are falling apart. Here's the other one, look. Both the same, look. They are... dreadful. They're falling apart. But I did have a newer pair of slippers, but unfortunately I went out into the garden and I trod in some cat dirt. Do you remember this show a few weeks ago? So I threw them. Well, actually I haven't thrown them away. They're still sitting outside waiting to be placed in the bin. I'm dreadful at throwing things. I don't like throwing things away at all. So they're still outside at the moment, but I will have to chuck those. But I do need new slippers. But don't you worry, Wayne. I always have my slippers on. He said, glad you enjoyed the cold and snow we shipped over the jet stream. No, I did not. I do not like snow and cold. We've had some quite nice weather here last few days, actually. It's been quite nice and bright and sunny and what have you. Wayne says, after my computer self-destructed due to a virus I picked up watching the closed-circuit TV from your swimming pool, I don't remember the www.unitedkingdomtalk.com. All of my files, programs, names, etc. went to live in internet oblivion. Oh, is that right? Oh, you haven't got a virus on your computer, have you? Oh. He says, I could not find your name in my personal black book because I had written down under the F listings, and that is for a fun time. Incidentally, for a fun time, okay? Hey, shouldn't you be on your way back to work at Madame Fifi's by now? Madame Fifi's. I tell you what, that's a good name for a club. And I know it sounds like one of those dodgy, clubs that I would call a banging shop. Basically, I don't like the sound. Madame Fifi's. Oh, I don't know. No, I don't think that's a good name for a club at all, is it? You'd probably go there and get other sorts of services in somewhere like that. Madam Aries, from the matinee show, of course, told me that you are now working Saturday early evenings as doorman at a gentleman's club before you run up to do your DJ gig. I certainly am not doorman. They have a hard job, don't they? No, I would never want to be a doorman. Certainly not in this day and age. They get shot and everything, don't they? Oh, dreadful job. He says, I'm way behind with my spring house cleaning. Well, get your spring house clean. Why are you so far behind with your spring house cleaning? We don't do any of that here, I'm afraid. I do it on a need to, on a need to sort of thing. If I look somewhere and I see a lot of dust, then I might dust it. But it doesn't just get dusted every other day or anything like that. And the same with the cleaning in the kitchen. The kitchen floor does not get done until it needs to be done. You don't need to be down there every day cleaning the kitchen floor. Who's that woman who wrote the book? Is it Mrs. Beeston or Beeson or something like that? Household advice. And she does cleaning and all that. Is it Mrs. Beeson? Something like that? Someone let me know. Don't forget the email to the show. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And Wayne was mentioning something called FRS the other day. And I was asking him what it is because I don't know what it is. And he says, hello, Chris. FRS. I've had a couple of emails in from this, from someone else as well. Let me just grab that. There we are. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have time to read the other one. But Wayne says FRS is a family... There goes the phone. Just a minute now. No, I'm going to let that go to answer. Let me just turn it down. 1 minute. I just turn it down so you don't hear it. Because we haven't got time to do phone calls now. Hello, Chris. FRS is family radio service here in the US. Now, I didn't know anything about this. In the UK... it's known as PMR 446. Now, I've never heard of this. The US FRS, Family Radio Service, operating the 460 meg band, and he goes on to talk about some technical issues there. If you were to use the US Family Radio Service walkie-talkies in the UK, you would be on the frequencies used by the fire brigades. Well, that's not good, is it? These walkie-talkies are limited to 1.5 watts of output power, but they will cover a shopping mall or sports stadium to keep track of family members. The idea was first conceived by Radio Shack in the mid-90s. It's a good idea, family radio service, isn't it? And was first legalised and sold in 1996. Bring your, that's our the UK walkie-talkies, bring our PMR 446 walkie-talkies to the States, and you would be operating in the amateur ham radio band. And Wayne says, I passed my novice amateur radio test at 14. Oh, your parents must have been very proud of you at that age to do such a thing. Shortly after Marconi transmitted across the Atlantic, I went on to study for and passed exams for commercial radio and television licence to operate and repair radio and television transmitters. I also obtained a shipboard radar endorsement on that licence and applied for employment with Cunard to work for 6 months on board the ship so that I could qualify for ship's radio telegraph operator. Unfortunately, the waiting list for these training positions was donkey's years long, and when my acceptance letter arrived 8 years later... 8 years he waited for that job, blimey. I was chief engineer at broadcast station and chose not to give up my position in favour of a 6 months at sea. I don't blame you. The same sort of thing happened to me. I was offered a DJing job, an entertainer's job on a ship. 3 times I was offered that, and I just kept turning it down because you have to give up everything, you know, and if you're established already, it's difficult. I mean, there are lots of other things I'd like to do, but I kind of get a bit scared to give anything up once you're established. At one time, I was all my word. I'll tell you what. I'm out of time. I'm going to have to go, I'm afraid. Thank you very much for watching and listening today. I've got some emails I didn't get to, which I'll get to on the next show, as well as the rest of your one, Wayne. Thank you very much for joining me. Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk is the email address. I'll see you on the next show. Thanks a lot. Bye bye now.